What's up, everybody, and welcome back to a full schedule of the MLS for Match Day 6. Match Day 5 was a 3-game week because of international games, the international break, but we are back. We are going to review those 3 games from Week 5, and then we are going to go over our predictions for Week 6. So, first up, we have Charlotte versus FC Cincinnati. I thought this game would be a 2-1 win for Charlotte. I did get the Charlotte right, but not the FC Cincinnati. It was a 2-0 win for Charlotte, and Swiderski scores both goals for them, one in the 6th minute, one in the 55th. And let's just talk about Ben Bender for being the Super Draft overall, first overall pick. Was playing pretty good. He got an assist in this game, but Swiderski also looked pretty good. Other than that, not too much went on with this game. The ball possession was 59% Charlotte, 41 FC Cincinnati. Don't know what happened with Cincinnati on that one, but Charlotte is on the move. So next up, we have Sporting KC versus Real Salt Lake. I guess this one to be a 1-0 win for Sporting KC. And I nailed it right on the head. In the 81st minute, Johnny Russell with a nice move. From the highlights, he played his butt off in this game. He had a very good game. According to this, he got an 8.4 player rating for the game. But his goal was pretty nice. He went to pass it, and it got deflected, and it landed at his feet. Kind of a lucky thing. And he just put it in the back of the net. That's what you're supposed to do. So, Johnny Russell gets a goal in the 81st minute, and nothing else really happened in the game. That was, from the highlights that I watched, that was the most exciting part. So, we just move on to our final game of the weekend, which was on Sunday. It was Portland Timbers versus Orlando City. I predicted that this game would be a 1-1 draw. And guess what? Nailed that one on the head. 1-1 draw was the final. Urso for Orlando City put one in the back of the net in the 52nd minute, assisted by Pato. And then in the 80th minute, Paredes gets a penalty. He actually drew the penalty, and he converted the penalty. The only other thing that happened in this game is Van Racken got a red card in the 76th minute. And it was very stupid. He was on a yellow already, and he pretty much grabbed a guy around the waist, almost in the private parts. And, of course, he's going to get that second yellow, and he's out of the game. So, other than that, I don't think too much went on. Urso's goal was actually pretty nice. It was a nice little lofted over ball. Landed right at his feet. Terrible marking on Portland, but ends up in a 1-1 draw. With that being said, so even though only, 6 teams played, here is the standings currently. Really didn't help out any of them too much. Did help out Charlotte, though. Charlotte moved up. But here's the standings. I'll let you look at them for a second. I'm not going to really go over them, especially since no one really played. I mean, you had Real Salt Lake, Real Salt Lake, they didn't move. They're the only team in the top 7 for the West that has 5 games. And then Orlando is in the top 7. I think I said 5 on Western, but I'm talking about 7, the ones that make the playoffs. And Orlando has 5 games, and that sets them in 4th. Not by themselves, but it did move them up into 4th. So, with that being said, we move on. So, we have 59 games picked. I've correctly picked 27 of the winners, and because of this week, I have 4 perfect ones. So, that's pretty nice. And even though I really debated on whenever I was making this if I was going to do a team of the week and a player of the week, and at first I said, nah, I mean, there was only 3 games, but I did it anyway. My team of the week, of course, goes to Charlotte FC. They hold the shutout and they win 2-0 at home. Whereas Sporting KC only they only scored one and got the shutout. So that's nice. And then also with that being said, my player of the week goes to Swiderski with scoring both goals for Charlotte. So that is my week 5 team of the week and player of the week. So that moves us on to our match day 6 predictions, which I'm excited for. I'm excited for for it to pick back up. Yes, I love international break because it was really, well, it still is going on. This video is coming out, on Tuesday. There's still one more game for the U.S. to get qualified. But with that being said, let's move on into this. We've got Chicago Fire versus FC Dallas. With this one, I think that, Chicago has played pretty well at home this season. Right now, they're unbeaten in the last 5 home games that they've played at home. Current form is 2 wins, 2 draws. And for FC Dallas is 2 wins, a loss, and a draw. With that being said, I think that Chicago Fire are going to get it done at home, and they're going to win this game 2-1 against FC Dallas. So next up on our list, we have FC Cincinnati versus Montreal. I know that Montreal is still struggling, and they're playing away. So current form for FC Cincinnati is 3 losses and 2 wins, where for Montreal is 2 draws, 2 losses. I think that, Montreal hasn't kept a clean sheet in the last 6 of their matches, and they haven't won in their last 6 either. So, and Brandon Vasquez was kind of on fire, and then over the weekend against Charlotte, he had a couple shots, but that was about it. But I still believe that they will get it done at home against Montreal and win this game 2-0. I don't think Montreal is that great of a team. So, and yes, they played against Atlanta 2 weekends ago, and it ended up being a 3-3 draw. But, I mean, it kind of shows they went up 3, and then Atlanta goes down a man, and Atlanta comes back. So, they should have finished off the game. But it is what it is. Moving on, we've got Toronto FC versus New York City FC. Toronto is 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses, and New York City FC is 2 losses and 2 wins, and they are currently on a 2-game losing streak. Toronto hasn't kept a clean sheet in 14 matches, whereas New York City FC ranks 19th in goal scoring. They're averaging 1 per match, and Toronto is actually ranked 10th with 1.3 per match. New York City has also averaged 60.3% of the possession, which sometimes that matters, sometimes it doesn't. But for this game, I think that these teams are very similar and very equal. I mean, New York City FC is 10th in the table. Toronto is 12th, but they both have 4 points. So I think that has to be wrong. Oh, I take that back. New York City's current form is 1 win, a draw, and 2 losses because their 1 win is in the the Champions League. My bad. But I think this game will end in a 2-2 draw there at BMO Field. Man, I took way too long on that kind of stuff. So now, next up we have Columbus Crew against Nashville SC. Columbus Crew, their current form is 2 wins and 2 draws. And for Nashville is a win, a draw, and 2 losses. They are currently on a 2-game losing streak. And I believe that losing streak continues for them. I think Columbus Crew is just playing too well right now. They're 4 games unbeaten at home, and I think that they win this game 3-1 against Nashville. So next up, on this pack-full Saturday, we have DC United versus Atlanta United. Current form for DC is 2 wins, 2 losses. For Atlanta, it is 2 wins, a draw, and a loss. So both teams are doing okay. Nice fun fact here. DC United have won 6 meetings against Atlanta United, and Atlanta has won 6 against DC United, and there's no draws. So that was a pretty cool stat. Other than that, I think this is going to be a close game because I think both teams are doing pretty well. They have some stuff to fix, but I believe that Atlanta, and I might be biased here, I think Atlanta walks away from Audi Field with a 2-0 win over DC United. Next up, we have the Revs versus the Red Bulls. They are in New England for this matchup at Gillette Stadium. Revs' current form is a win and 3 losses. They are currently on a 3-game losing streak, whereas the Red Bulls are 2 wins, a loss, and a draw, and they are coming off of a draw against Columbus Crew. I think that the Revs are going to turn this around. Their 3-game losing streak, and I think they're actually going to win this game 2-1. And that current losing streak also brings in their Champions League matchup. So I think they'll turn it around, get the 2-1 win over the Red Bulls. So that leads us into Orlando City versus LAFC. LAFC is playing very good right now. Orlando City is coming off that draw against Portland over the weekend. Their current form is 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss, whereas LAFC is 3 wins and a draw. So they have yet to lose, I believe, if I'm seeing that correctly. But anyway, they are at Explorer Stadium in Orlando, and I believe that this game is going to be a 4-goal game, but I think it's going to end up in a draw 2-2. I just don't think that... I think that Orlando's starting to pick it up, and, they're not going to win this game against LA. I think LA is too strong for that, but I do believe that they walk away with a draw at home. Now that leads us into Philadelphia Union versus Charlotte FC. We are at Subaru Park for the Union. Their current form is 3 wins and a draw, so they are currently on a 3-game win streak. For Charlotte, though, they are 2 wins and 3 losses, and they are currently on a 2-game win streak. Charlotte, it's looking up. The 2 games that they're on a win streak, though, it is home games. They have not won away. But I think that it's still not going to be a win away. I think that they go into Subaru Park, and with the way they are playing in the current form, I do, though, think it ends up in a 1-1 draw. Union's a good team. Obviously, they're in first. I think that they're definitely going to make the playoffs unless something drastically happens. But I really think at this point in time, if Charlotte can keep this up, because, it does take, especially with that being such a new team, it takes a team a while to build up and work together, especially in game-type situations. I think Charlotte might make the playoffs. I'm going to say it now. I think Charlotte makes the playoffs in the East. So, moving on, we have the Earthquakes versus Austin FC. Current form, we've got, for Earthquakes, we have 1 draw and 3 losses. For Austin FC, we have 2 wins, a loss, and a draw. Austin started off very strong at home and have kind of died out. But I I think that this is going to be a pretty good game, but Earthquakes, they're just not that great. And I think Austin FC goes into PayPal Park and wins 1-0 over the Earthquakes. I think they've got a lot to fix there in San Jose, and I don't think it's going to start now. I think it's going to take them a while. So that moves us on to Inter Miami versus Houston Dynamo. Miami's current form is a draw and 3 losses. Don't even get me started on Inter Miami. I know I posted some comments in, I think, the last video. A Miami fan was talking, and I hope they turn it around, but I just don't see it until Neville is gone. But anyway, Houston Dynamo, their current form is 2 draws, a win, 2 draws, and a loss. They're coming off their last game, a draw against the Rapids at home. I think that Houston goes in there, but and puts up a good game. I'm stumbling all over my words. I'm sorry. I think that they put in a good game against Miami, but I think they walk away with a 1-0 defeat. I think Miami finally gets a win on the season at home over the Dynamo. I think Higuain puts it in the back of the net at some point in time in the game to win that. So following that game, we have Minnesota United versus Seattle Sounders. Really not following that game. They're at the same time. But anyway, Minnesota United currently are 2 draws, 2 wins. And Seattle is pretty much the same thing. Well, actually, for MLS, they have 1 win and 2 draws. Well, no, one, I can't even see it because their last form is also including Champions League. So their current 5 form is 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. I think that this game is going to be a close game. Minnesota United has come out swinging and playing very well. And the Sounders are struggling a little bit. I think it is because of that Champions League play. But I think that Seattle show up at Minnesota and leave with a 2-2 draw. So they do get a point out of it, in my opinion. So moving on, with that being said, I think we move on to, no, we still have, we only have 1 game on Sunday this week. So we got the Whitecaps versus Sporting KC. Sporting KC coming off that win against Real Salt Lake last weekend. And so current forms are for the Whitecaps is a 3 losses and a draw. For Vancouver, it's 2 wins, 3 losses in their last 5. The Whitecaps have not won a match in the last 7 games. So that's another add-on. But also on top of that, Sporting KC have not won an away match in 5 games. But finally, I think Vancouver pulls out a win, 2-1 over Sporting. I think that Sporting dropped down a little bit. I think with the Whitecaps coming off the rest over this weekend, I think they'll kind of just get it together for this weekend. I don't know who they play next, but I think that they'll get this W over Sporting Kansas City 2-1. So moving into our last game for Saturday, we have Colorado Rapids versus Real Salt Lake. I think that Real Salt Lake are playing very well. Yes, they lost to Sporting KC. It was away. This game, they are also away at the Rapids. The Rapids' current form is 2 wins, a draw, and a loss. Real Salt Lake, they have 3 wins, a draw, and a loss, which their first loss came last weekend against Sporting. I think this is going to be a good game. I think with it being at Dick's Sporting Goods Park, Rapids are struggling a little bit. Actually, I take that back. They're not struggling at all. They did go into Houston and tie Houston 1-1 in their last game. But I think that Real Salt Lake might be a little bit stronger in the form that they're playing. Yes, they did lose last weekend. But I think that they go in and win against the Rapids 1-0 with a late goal. I don't know by who. Maybe Bobby Wood. I'm not sure. but I think they walk away late with a 1-0 win on the road. So our final game of the weekend on Sunday, we've got Timbers versus LA Galaxy. They're both 7 and 8 in the table right now. Portland's current form is a win, 3 draws, and a loss, where LA Galaxy is 2 wins and 2 losses. They are at Providence Park. Timber, they're hard to beat at home. Yes, they tied their last game against Orlando City, but I think that they turn it around against LA, a struggling LA, because they've lost the last 2, and I think they win this game 3-2. I also believe that this will be a late game winner for Portland. So 3-2, yes, a lot of goals, and that's my predictions for Week 6. So if you like the videos, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you like this content. Please tell me down below what you think. Tell me what you think of my player of the week, team of the week, and tell me your predictions. I'd like to know, I want to have that conversation with you all. So let me know what your picks are. And with that being said, we'll see you next time.